So good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. So it's a pleasure to be here at the conference, The Future of Education. So my name is Susana Jorge, and I'm presenting the work Approaches to Pedagogical Innovation, workshop developing in an Erasmus teaching program in higher education. This is a pedagogical project I've been working with my colleagues, Paula Tavares, Anna Linehan, and Gabriela San. Sorry. I'm sorry. So I'll do my best with the English. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your understanding. I'm from Portugal, and I'm a member of the Research Center in Design, Media and Culture called IDEMAIS. I teach at the Design School at Polytechnic University of Cávado and IPCA. My university also collaborates with Regional University Network, European University. So we teach drawing, and drawing is included in all of our 3 bachelor's degree programs. As you can see, graphic design, industrial design, and audiovisual design. And in our school, we also have 3 master's degrees, illustration and animation, digital design, design and product development, and a PhD in design and digital technologies. We can see in this slide some drawings from our students from their portfolio. So teaching drawing was really important for this project because we think, how could we develop a drawing program to another educational institution and do so reflect on our teaching practice? So we work to develop and deepen students' skills in drawing, specifically in terms of their ability to observe and represent the world around them, developing their creativity and communication skills through the practice of drawing. It's really important that the students understand the creative process of drawing, the importance of manual and digital skills to conceive and conceptualize a project for the designer's work process. So the pedagogical approaches we developed consider academic training and overall curriculum of the course's field of study. We focus on student-centered learning and the application of innovative methodologies that allow students to develop their learning with success. So why did we organize this mobility program and workshop? It was important to think about the benefits of mobility in higher education, our interest in applying those benefits, and to develop an educational program that could be innovating and analyzing its impacts and results. So about benefits of an Erasmus mobility program in higher education, so according to some authors we studied, the mobility is really important for professional relationships and intercultural connections and future collaboration on educational programs. Also, such initiatives can play an important role in institutional educational plans in terms of curricular innovation and the development of study programs, teaching methods, dissemination of best practice in teaching and research, precisely because of the cultural and educational challenge that it creates. These factors make us reflect on our professional development about increased student engagement and apply these techniques directly in the classroom. and were extremely motivating and therefore considered in the planning of the upcoming workshop. And about the educational or pedagogical program, how to analyze the impacts and results, we must consider a variety of pedagogical strategies to decide which best facilitates the students' learning of the core content. In this regard, we have developed this research with the aim of analyzing the impact of applying these pedagogical measures on student learning, and more specifically on drawing-centered learning in higher education design courses to continuously promote motivation, personalized learning experience, and active participation. It is also important to continuously evaluate the pedagogical practice and the ways in which they impact the learning process. So in this analysis, we should mention the research by Annalise Zimmerman and Solange Coutinho, which proposes an approach to teaching drawing based on the design process and interdisciplinary relationships, noting that such an approach involves thinking of drawing as part of a design process interconnected with conception of ideas, communication among the various professionals involved in the process, as well as its relationship with users. These new approaches can be explored at various levels, manifesting in drawing exercises that center on a defined design problem involving the creative process. So, in terms of our practical side of our project, the workshop was essential for promoting this student-centered learning, looked to a specific drawing problem to be solved. It is important to note, however, that the relation between the teaching and learning methodologies and the learning outcomes was analyzed with a view to the content to be covered in the workshop, the intended learning outcomes, and the time we had for its implementation. So the workshop was held at the University of Saint-Étienne School of Art and Design in France during a week in February of this year. It was our first visit to this institution of higher education. We were very welcome, and of course we thank very much for the institution that received us. The pedagogical project began with online meetings with the International Relations Department, providing an opportunity to align objectives and prepare for the on-site visit. During these initial discussions, we outlined the intent to develop an innovative pedagogical approach through a practical character design workshop. So the workshop will explore how students apply concepts of creative and visual representation based on our teaching experience. So we have developed this work plan, outlined these following steps, the practice to be implemented, and the learning objectives. So we can explain that, present here some important ideas. The first one was to present a challenge to be interpreted through drawing, cutting, collage, develop new steps and questions through time. It was really important to promote collaborative and group discussion, and an opportunity for make a drawing exhibition and collect feedback through a questionnaire, anonymous questionnaire. This practice aims to help students to develop their creativity, imagination, know how to make research about a specific topic, and to solve drawing problems, to share their questions, their ideas, promote motivation and a discussion with each other that can help in a creative process and make available the option to be heard and offer suggestions for improvements. So we start like this. We had about 60 first-year students participating in the workshop. It was a big class. And the the practical session began with a sensory exercise. So a random student was selected to describe an abstract wooden animal sculpture using only the sense of touch. So the class sketched the object based on the words spoken about weight, shape, and texture. This phase was challenging by the language barrier, as Portuguese teachers with a French-speaking class, some specific technical terms were lost in translation. However, we view this not as a problem, but as a pedagogical opportunity. The final sketches, we see here some examples, show with close similarity to the sculpture itself, showing the power of tactile and visual communication over verbal precision. At the end of the process, the object was revealed and the students compared their initial sketches with the real piece to see the divergence between their mental constructs and the actual object. Then we start to create silhouettes based on the description once provided. We introduced a collage-based approach using magazines, scissors, and students get together images or even pieces of textured papers. They change their initial shapes to create new visual connections. While not all students choose to use collage, some prefer to use traditional drawing or a mixture of both. The technique was proposed as a tool to bypass creative blocks and generate a high volume of silhouettes in a short time. The next session began with a presentation of professional authors and examples of drawings by our students from IPCAM. This shows an interesting dialogue regarding institutional differences. Saint-Étienne students mentioned that character design is not typically a core subject in their bachelor's program, which resulted in high engagement and curiosity toward the subject. To conclude the session, all work was displayed on the floor for a collective viewing and discussion. Following this, students selected one of their own silhouettes to refine. The objective was to move beyond the abstract shape to develop a finalized look, put some specific expressions and a deeper understanding of the character's anatomy. Students were free to use their preferred materials. Then, to conclude the study, a questionnaire was prepared to students evaluate methodology's impact. You can see the results of the pedagogical approach. 86 students show high satisfaction with what they learned. 93 said that the level of difficulty was good to their skills. All the students said that the teacher's explanation were clear. 71 found the materials and the methodology engaging. They also refer the playful and experimental nature of the project. And 79 want to continue developing their characters behind the workshop. Students identified several paths for future development, specifically animation, 3D modeling, and the exploration of multiple poses and environments. So, building on the results of the initial workshop at Saint-Étienne, the next stage is a transition to a blended intensive program, a BIP. So, we intend to deepen students' drawing practice through a character-driven storytelling project while maintaining the collaborative nature of international mobility. Regarding the program's theme, character design serves as an ideal interdisciplinary base for exploring drawing practice and also to help students to understand anatomy, semiotics, narrative structure, and technical software proficiency. This multifaceted nature allows the program to bridge the gap between creative expression and professional design requirements while having the chance to think about their creative work. By introducing guidelines for specific outputs, such as animation, video games, branding, or mascot design, we enable students to explore the various dimensions of character creation, professional design process, and the impact of characters on society. So for final considerations, we would like to present three ideas. The first one is this approach, the student-centered learning process. So with a drawing problem to be solved was the starting point. And this was really important, I think, for the students because of that moment to discover and to understand how to solve that problem. The creativity, and the imaginative process were explored through defined stages, beginning with the creation of a character design based on a real object that was only revealed later. The defined practice were implemented with the primary goal of providing students with an experiential, collaborative, discussion-based, and sharing-oriented learning experience and assisting them in this creative process. The results show that the students were able to develop this creative and critical reflection process as documented during the final presentation and in the feedback provided by the students in the questionnaire. So the aim is to continue this project by expanding the workshop to a blended intensive program, and this program will continue to promote interaction among higher education institutions, recognizing that the extended time frame will allow for a deeper exploration of other contexts and will continue to provide teaching staff with a platform for pedagogical reflection with ongoing analysis of the application and impact of teaching practice on the learning process. So this work is funded by national funds through FCT, Fundação para a Ciência e Tecnologia, and of course we would like to thank to Saint-Étienne, the university, the International Relations Department, the teachers, and all the students that participate in this workshop. We also have here the references for this work. Thank you so much for your attention.
Any questions